Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS. In the previous episode, Takumi Nishijo gave a lengthy introduction of himself to no one in particular, save for those of us who reside outside of the world of the screen. And during his ramblings, he apparently forgot he was in the middle of an internet chat with a fellow member of Balustrade, or Insu, sorry. An anonymous user utilizing the internet handle Grim.
Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug, there goes Mr. Grim. If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him.
And there we go. Another reference no one gets but me. You're welcome. Anyway, let's see what Grim has to say. I'm not going to read out what Grim is saying, of course. We can all read it for ourselves. Grim's a friend I always team up with in Ensu. We've never met IRL, in real life, but we always talk online. On top of that, Grim brings me all kinds of valuable news. He's almost like some sort of information broker. Surprise, surprise. Seated in my chair, I started typing. Seems that Grim is fully aware of Takumi's habits. Grim and I talk about everything. We're not face to face, so I feel at ease talking about almost anything. That could prove to be a very double-edged sword there. But in real life, that's not the case. Yeah, suffice to say that Takumi Nishijo very much has very similar tastes to Daru over in Akihabara. Very much so. And we're presented with a very strange choice here in ChäoS. That seems to relate nothing in particular, but Takumi's anime conversation with Grim. It's got to be a school swimsuit and glasses. Now we can either select yes or no, and I'm pretty sure that this will lead us to a very branching series of further selections. Whether or not this has any real bearing on the story of ChäoS or not is, well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. But for now, I'm going to select yes. Because why not? Sorry, I skipped ahead there. It's not a real school swimsuit unless there's a name tag on her chest. Because anime. Because of course it is. So we're going to go with yes as well. White school swimsuits are better than navy blue. I'm actually going to say no on that because I do prefer blue to white, even though I have no real, well, blue just happens to be my favorite color, but that's just me. Everyone else has a favorite color of their own, whether it's blue, white, or anything else. But in anime, blue tends to usually be a staple, so I'm going to go with no. And that appears to be the end of the choices. And Grim is in hysterics, apparently. In other words, I was right in comparing Takumi to Daru. Yet another quote-unquote perverted gentleman, if I do say so. Is that in the 2D or 3D world there, Takumi? Then again, you're not a complete chunibu like a certain insane mad scientist. Well, whatever the case, we were probably exchanging Ensu-related news. As Grim is apt to remind Takumi. Like what? What do you mean? I think he's about to tell us. And lo and behold, there is a third member in the chat room. Apparently using this handle Shogun. And there's a little waving emoji or a victory emoji there from Grim. I tried greeting him, but Shogun didn't reply. WTF, is he ignoring me? I could say that, but I won't. I'm just reading the text. Even though there is definitely going to be a lot of swearing in either from Takumi or in ChäoS in general. Despite the fact that I went out of my way to be friendly. Does he know who I am? Is he acting this rude regardless? I couldn't answer that question. Dude, I'm lightning fast Nightheart. I don't think Shogun particularly knows or cares. It's illegal to enter one of these chat rooms in the first place if you're just going to lurk. Yeah, I think we're going to have a talk with the moderator at some point. Whatever, I don't give a shit. That's what's nice about the net. There's no need to bother yourself with pointless interpersonal relationships, like the one that you are presently having with Grim there, Takumi. A little bit hypocritical there. And speaking of Grim, yeah, Takumi as usual doesn't bother with the events of the real world. He prefers to live in the matrix of the internet. Shocking. So that means a gory murder or something must have happened. It has been getting more dangerous around here recently. No, I don't. I really don't want to see it. Yeah, Guru, for those of you who are unaware, or those of you who can work it out, is almost certainly related to gore, or gore-esque. But lately there have been a lot of composites and other shopped pictures around. They are set up as traps in a lot of different places, and if I get tricked by one, I end up looking whether I want to or not.
まあ少しは目が慣れてきちゃってるのかも。
That is quite a low blow there, Grim. PK is an abbreviation for player kill. It refers to the dicks who take part in a certain kind of delinquent behavior, killing unrelated people in net games and stealing their equipment and money points, as in every good MMORPG ever made. Nice to know Takumi does have his standards as lightning fast Nightheart, but I do make real money trading left and right. Hee hee hee. There are two words that should immediately be ringing alarm bells there. New gen? What's that? We haven't covered this yet, have we? Perhaps not, but I have a feeling we're going to cover it now. Although Grim referred to it like it'd be natural for me to know it. Now that you mention it, I kind of remember something about an accident. I would hardly call a series of mysterious incidents happening in Shibuya an accident. but I just vaguely knew about it and hadn't bothered to check the details. Probably for the best. When I tried searching New Gen, I got some hits right away. Notice that the search engine is Delude, the land of the rising sun, and not Goodle or whatever it was in Steins Gate. But anyway.
この1ヶ月の間に渋谷で発生した2つの事件のことをニュージェネと呼ぶ。
And of course, as Grimm said, New Gen stands for the New Generation Madness, which is what the appellation that has been given to it. And part of the blurb is obscured, but what we're actually seeing should very well tell you part of what the New Gen Madness has in store.
その犠牲者は胎児を含めて7人。
And like that, we have
一つ目の事件は友人同士5人による高層ビルからの集団ダイブ。二つ目の事件では男性の体内から胎児が出てきた。これマジかよ。
And like that, we've immediately jumped beyond the point of human is dead mismatch here in Chaos Head. In fact, we've already jumped into territory that is darker than anything that either CERN or Stratfor ever accomplished in Steins Gate or Steins Gate 0. Not that that has actually happened, because, of course, I remind you all again that Chaos Head takes place before those events. But things just got real. Very real again. A chill went down my spine. Once again, I remind you all that that caution warning at the beginning of this Let's Play was not just there for show. Before I knew it, I turned around to look around my room again. There are plenty of links to all the New Gen news on Taboo, so I went ahead and started skimming them. The new generation of madness. Such are the incidents that have been causing a stir on the internet for day after day, and probably more besides. 2 instances of this have already occurred. We've already talked about them. One featured such a brutal method of killing that there were TV channels that forbore to express the criminal's behavior in words. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that was the second incident that happened. Apparently, there were also rumors that the initial diving accident might have also been a homicide. 2 very different murders, apparently being linked according to the media. All of the dead 5's parents and friends declared that there is no way that she would ever commit suicide. I can't come up with so much as a trace of a motive. Additionally, circumstantial evidence makes it difficult to think they were even attempting suicide. Something tells me you're getting a vicarious thrill out of all this, Grimm.
Grimm のやつ、僕をバカにして楽しんでるな。
And of course, Grimm sent a what appears to be an image link, judging from the letters there. www.gurodaisuke.com. And I won't read the rest of it. He does this kind of thing once in a while. But if I hesitated, it'd hurt my reputation as Balazad's Nightheart. I think that your reputation as the lightning-fast Nightheart is the least of your worries there, Takumi. Setting aside real life, when it comes to Ensu, I'm a god. I'm the strongest. I'm a knight of justice who knows everything and is stronger than anyone. Like I'd let him make a fool of me. And yet something tells me that we have no choice but to rise to Grimm's bait. I mustered all my courage and clicked the URL. There we go. Well, that was anticlimactic. What, so it's just a shitty doodle of squiggles and everything, and what appears to look like a lemming. Very lemming-esque, if I do say so myself. In other words, Takumi has been pranked by Grim yet again. Your regular Picasso there, Grim. Or maybe even a Da Vinci. And Grim has left the chat room. But come to think of it, that Shogun guy was still here. I completely forgot about him. Not that it mattered either way. I wasn't that sleepy, so I thought I'd do a bit of hunting in Ensu or something. Speaking of which, Blood Tune broadcasted today. There's no TV in my room. I get everything done on my PC.
あと15分ぐらいか。その前にトイレでも行っておこうかな。
Well, it's a good thing that the building downstairs that has a bathroom, because there is none to be found in a shipping container. Believe you me. Spotting Seratan next to my monitor, I grinned. Today I'll be able to see Seratan. It's something that I always look forward to. As I thought that, I was just about to close the chat window when...
あれ?
And so Shogun has spoken for the first time. Shogun posted something.
なんだよこいつ急に。
Appears to be another image link. Very different from Grimm's. He wasn't a faithful lurker. Going by the file extension, it looked like a link to an image, but a sudden link from someone suspicious, a person I didn't know, and on top of that, one who hadn't posted a single thing before. Without thinking, I gulped down a breath. What was going on? I'd never felt this kind of horrible premonition before, in all my time on the net. Of course I didn't want to click it. I clicked my tongue and looked at the clock. 12 minutes until my promised time with Seratan. It would be a good idea to cut off the conversation right away. And that is a very unusual statement there from Shogun. Kind of getting Morpheus vibes from the Matrix. I tried my best to sound like I was joking around, to make it seem like I had plenty of relaxation to spare. Hint hint, Takumi has none. Truthfully, I didn't want to chat with some guy I didn't know. I was nervous and it made me sweat. That's to say nothing of the fact that if the Shogun person wasn't Japanese, there'd be no way to deal with him. Or you really actually don't know anything about Grim either, aside from him being on Ensu, but that's just me. Hey, he started talking to me normally. My mind was put to rest a little. But just a little. Seems that Shogun was pondering something. For some reason there was a weird gap. Now that is somewhat ominous. Shogun appears to be operating from somewhere in Shibuya itself. A vision of the New Gen incident sprung to the fore and to the front of my mind. Could Shogun be the one behind it? That's too soon to tell, even for Takumi. They were gory enough with someone like me envisioning them, so in reality they must have not been something you could bear to look at straight on. A man's torn stomach, the fetus that was forcibly stuffed into the hole. Yeah, we've already gone past the tragic events of Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. When the 5 who dove from that high-rise building hit the ground, they must have gotten so badly messed up that there will be no way to tell what they originally looked like. Just imagining it made me feel sick to my stomach. I hastily shook my head to get rid of the gruesome delusions. Otherwise you end up like Rintaro Okabe in Steins Gate Zero, and we all remember how tragic his ordeal was. The Shogun guy was so suspicious that he made me think about all that stuff. Yeah, the localization patch isn't entirely perfect, I'm sorry to say. I got seriously caught up in it. That was the end of that sentence. Why we would tell him that we're here is beyond me, but I think that he probably would have figured it out regardless. In fact, he probably even knows that Takumi is in Shibuya already, which doesn't bode well. And it seems that Shogun too is aware of the new gen madness.
なんだこれ。
F is for fire that burns down the whole town. Use for uranium bombs. N is for no survivors when you...
Plankton! Those things aren't what fun is all about.
Was he just a freak or what? I said I'm smart, but I've never seen the formula he posted out of the blue. Fun to the power of 10 times int to the power of 40 equals IR2. It's a very far cry from E equals MC square. I tried searching for it just in case. At times like this, it's easiest if you just run search.
あれ、ヒットしないな。
Could it be that he simply typed in some random made-up formula to make himself seem intelligent? I didn't get it. He could very well be a Chunibyu like Rintaro Okabe, but again, too soon to tell. And there's Shogun with his profound Morpheus prophesizing. Yet again. Yes, the image link that we could easily find if we scroll back through the chat window. And there are some more. A lot more. A very lot more. Maybe about nearly 20-ish? Or just under 20 or something. Countless URLs went up at an incredible speed. What's going on with this guy? Is he getting his kick by intimidating me? Maybe he's a friend of Grimm, working together to pull the wool over my eyes. Sensing the gaze again, I looked around my room. Naturally though, all there was the room's unchangingly dim and messy interior. An unidentifiable terror. Since it was already normal for me to feel like I was being watched, I couldn't get myself to calm down. So either this is Takumi's paranoia at work, or somebody other than you and me adventurers are observing him somehow.
僕を見るな。
When I tried putting it into words, I realized that my voice was shaky. My familiar messy room felt like something altogether different. It's said that after you watch a fear-mongering TV program, or go to a horror movie or hear a scary story from your friend, the careless air of your own house, which you should be used to, becomes so frightening that you can't go to the bathroom by yourself late at night. Yeah, that's what happens when you delve into the likes of Wes Craven. Right now I'm having a similar experience.
くそ、釣られたりするもんか。
Shaken up and leaning in toward the monitor, without thinking, I put pressure into my right index finger and clicked on one of Shogun's links. Too little too late. Honestly, I don't know why I did it. It's not that my hand moved on its own or anything. Without thinking doesn't describe it at all. It was possible for me to regard it as a pure mistake, but the motion of clicking had come to me all but naturally.
なんだよこれ。
What filled the monitor screen was a photograph of an object d'art. Something like the spikes of a hedgehog or a needle-stuffed flower-arranging tool was stuck to the wall in the shape of a cross. A reddish-black puddle had formed underneath the giant flower-arranging tool, with its needles sticking out all over. And I couldn't make them out, but there were also a number of small garbage-like lumps strewn around. Seriously, what was this? The work of some puffed-up, self-proclaimed avant-garde artist? They show up a lot, these people who create gory-looking works and unabashedly say it expresses the chaos of this world. I had no intention of coming to understand that kind of moronic art. Still, it was a mysterious image. It wasn't directly Guru, it had only reached the point of having a Guru-esque sense to it. Despite that, why did it feel so raw to me? Why did it give off such a strong presence? Is it possible to hallucinate the scent of blood entering your nose enough to make you choke? Is it possible to experience an illusory smell so vivid that it brings about nausea? Having already gone through Steins Gate Zero, the possibility does indeed exist. A stabbing pain struck at my temples. My nausea wouldn't stop. I desperately tried to grab the mouse, but my hand was shaking and it didn't go well. I was so frantic that I failed to grasp it, and it slipped off the desk, dragging only its cord behind it. I reeled in the cord, set it back on the mousepad, and closed the window. And what leapt into my relieved sight was a very cryptic and ominous message from Shogun, and this is in Japanese. Unbeknownst to us, the words that Takumi is seeing here are very familiar to him indeed. And with that, I'm going to end this episode of Let's Play ChäoS Head. And when we return, we shall see what, or rather how Takumi makes light of the situation that he has just been forced to face head on. As always, dear adventurers, until next we meet.